Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Just the Good Stuff, where I show you only the good stuff from the vendor restocks this week, starting right here inside the base of operations. As usual, at the advanced weaponry vendor, we have an extended magazine, 120% mag size, 4% critical hit damage, and 4.8 rate of fire. In my opinion, this magazine is god roll. Make sure to pick this up. It's not the absolute maximum mag size that we can get, but it is 1% off, so these are very, very good to be picking up. Next, we're heading over to Autumn's Hope, which is very, very close to the Bullet King boss. And this vendor is going to be selling a 4% sticky bomb damage mod. Would definitely recommend picking these up for your tactician builds when you're using the sticky bomb. I would always utilize these sticky bomb damage mods over the Seeker Mine damage mods in my opinion. I think that it's just a stronger utilization. But after this, we're heading over to Dante's Run. This vendor is going to have our first electronics damage to elite mod this week. There are 2 of them for sale. The other one is inside Camp Clinton. I believe it's for sale for Phoenix credits if I'm not mistaken. So I would just recommend doing Dante's Run instead because you're spending credits instead. I believe they are the exact same rolls at 214 electronics and 3% damage to elites. Now for these next mods, you have 2 options available as well. There's Madison Stand or the Ward. Both of these are selling the exact same mod with the same rolls, and it is a 2% pulse critical hit chance mod. Again, I say this every week. We tend to get these pretty much every week, but I still recommend that you get them so you don't have to worry about it when they do happen to not be for sale. These are really good to be putting on your Predator builds, any kind of solo Dark Zone build where you are utilizing the concealed pulse. Well, I would just recommend picking these up because they're very reliable to have. And for the off chance, if the following weeks don't have them, it can be a really big pain. You have to basically craft them. So I would just recommend picking these up, stock up on them, so you have some available. And again, you can visit the Ward safe room. The exact same one is for sale over there. But since we're right next to our very next stop on the restock list, I'd recommend Madison Stand instead. After this, we're heading just a little bit north, 5th Avenue, the very, very bottom middle checkpoint inside the Dark Zone. 5th Avenue does have a decent firearms mod for sale at 265, 3,000 health. It's not the maximum health that we want, but it's still over 3,000, so in my opinion, that makes the mod really good. These are perfect to be throwing on any of your builds, really. When you stack up those health mods, it does make a difference. After this, we're heading 1 Dark Zone up on the east side, East 31st Street. The East 31st Street vendor is going to be selling a lightweight M4. This one you don't really have to get, but this is actually exactly what my rolls are on my main character. I do have a 265 plus gear score lightweight M4 with competent and talented on the top, and you can roll the bottom intense talent over to determined. This is what I like to recommend. I usually use this to unlock talented, and then I'll swap over to a ferocious destructive ACR with determined on that one as well. So, would definitely recommend using this. I use it mostly for open world gameplay when I'm taking out my open world bosses and stuff. This is a pretty decent M4 to be using. Our next stop is going to be West 39th Street, and this vendor is going to be selling a stamina mod this week. This one is very, very good. It's almost maxed out on both attributes at 267. This one is maxed out. 3,200 health is almost maxed out. I believe the maximum is 3,300 something. So we're very, very short on the maxed out attribute roll, but these are perfect to be throwing on, again, your Predator builds or any kind of tank build. You can really throw these on your striker builds to increase your health pool to get that extra healing from the 6-piece bonus. But once we're done here, we're going to be heading up to the very top right corner, East 64th Street, and this vendor is going to be selling a pretty good mod for us this week. We have a electronics mod at 265 with 3,000 skill power. Again, the skill power could be higher, but these are perfect to be throwing on your reclaimer builds or your tactician builds that aren't dedicated towards damage to elites. So make sure you pick some of these up if you have the funds for it. I know that a lot of these are inside the Dark Zone this week, but make sure you watch the whole video before going to buy these, just so you know which ones to kind of spare your money for. But since we're in Dark Zone 9, we are going to head over to the safe room, so let me head over there and I will meet you guys there. Alright, I'm out of breath. We made it to the Dark Zone 9 safe room though. This vendor is going to have the cherry on top, I think, this week with this loud vent break. We do have a maxed out 19% critical hit damage mod. It's 5.5% headshot, 2.5% crit hit chance. These are not maxed out attributes on the bottom, but it is all of the rolls that we want to make it great. Perfect for your Predator builds, perfect for your PvP builds, anything really to throw on the house. This mod is absolutely perfect for the house. It was made for it. So make sure you pick this up. If you do not have this available for anything, I love to throw this on my PvE Predator build because it has all the rolls that I want on there, and I prefer the sound of the loud vent break over suppressors. So would definitely recommend picking this up if you have the funds for it. Now, before we end the video, like usual, I will head over to the base of operations and I will show you what blueprints are for sale this week that I think you should be picking up. Now, as usual, I already own the blueprints, so I'm not actually able to show you that they are for sale, but I will head over to my crafting table and I will go over which ones are for sale this week that you can pick up. Starting off with the weapons, we have been graced yet again with the Lightweight M4 blueprint. Make sure to pick this up, you guys, if you don't have this blueprint available. This one's a must-have for your blueprint arsenal. The Lightweight M4 is the most reliable gun in the game. Would highly recommend picking up this blueprint, especially because we don't actually get these very often. It's actually kind of crazy that we've gotten it multiple weeks in a row. And the next blueprint is the MP7. I mean, normally you wouldn't run this, you would always run the House because the House is the best SMG, but the MP7 is very fun to use, especially with the hurried gun talent. It is a really good placeholder for the House, aside, of course, from the Navy MP5N or the MP5ST. Those ones are a very close second, but the MP7 is very fun to use, especially in PvP. Has a really high rate of fire. The damage is pretty decent as well for the rate of fire being much higher, and I just think the MP7 is a really cool gun, so would definitely recommend this blueprint as well. This week, this is really good for your defense builds as well. We also have the Firearms Vest blueprint for sale. I like to recommend these because when you do need them for your builds, it's a really big pain if you don't have any in your stash box or if you don't have the blueprint. So I like to just recommend getting the blueprint. I don't think it costs that much. It might cost a little bit of Phoenix credits, but I think it's worth it. And then you'll have the blueprint available so you can craft yourself a Reckless chest piece, or if you're going to use this for PvP, you can do Vigorous as well. But we'll head over to the mods that are for sale. We have the Firearms Gear mod for sale. We also have the Stamina Gear mod and the Performance Gear mods for sale. Make sure you pick these up. When it comes to the gear mods and the performance mod, I just like to recommend getting them as soon as possible because it can be a pain when you're looking for very specific mods and you just can't find them at any vendor and you're having trouble getting them to drop. I like to recommend just getting the blueprints. That way you can craft the ones that you need on the fly. That's going to wrap up this week's episode of Just the Good Stuff. Hopefully there's some good items that you'll be picking up this week. I definitely picked up a couple of them that were in sale for Side the Dark Zone. Those Dark Zone vendors did not come to play this week. But if you did not enjoy this week's restock, there's always next week. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.